Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host Barbara here with me. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am. Good evening, Johnny.
Good evening. Now, we talked today. We decided that we would do a topic on how coming on too strong makes women run.
Yes.
And this is a very important topic because all too often men do come on too strong, and they don't realize that it's like women want to go a little slower than what the men who are coming on too strong are doing. Do you agree with that?
I do, but I was thinking of why, when you look at a certain person, and I thought, well, there could be two reasons why. One, I believe that they really are very sexually stimulated by the woman, and they have a hard time holding back. The other thing is that I think they might think we owe them something because they may have spent a lot of money. So, and it might have to do with us. Maybe they spent money on a plane ticket because they wanted to come and meet you and spend time with you. Maybe they meals or tickets for something. So I am here to tell you how I feel about it, and you are here to tell us how you feel about it too. I find this to be a very interesting subject.
I actually have some opinions on it, but you go first.
Oh, no, Johnny. I want to hear your opinions, and
okay.
I'd like to hear it from a man's perspective.
All right. I think what I'm going to say, and I'm not doing this to make an excuse for anybody, but what I'm saying is that sometimes men, a lot of times when you're, and I think that I'm talking about those people that are, like, for example, with me, I was always told that no means no, but nobody ever really told us what a yes was. And this is when you talk about a yes, you get nervous about that because you have to make assumptions. I think that maybe what happens is sometimes men, they feel that they feel like things are being intimate when they're really not being intimate. They feel like that the woman is saying yes when that's not actually what's happening.
Well, and also it's a courtship. Isn't it kind of like a courtship? So is it her fault if she gives a little back of a little flirtation to show, yes, I do like hanging around you. I do like your company. But then he might take that even further. So you're really saying that men and you maybe have we're getting mixed signals and you just
Well, I
get
will
confused.
tell you that I'm not going to speak for all men, but I can tell you that I have been confused before.
Oh.
Now, what I'm saying is that, but what I'm trying to say about mixed signals. But the point I'm trying to get at is that I always believe that you really should be able to sit down and have a verbal chat where everything is verbal, everything is said, because I think that this is what I want to say. This also goes in line with the topic. The best thing that you can have in a relationship is communication. I'm sure you agree, okay? But the one thing you don't want to do with a woman is scare her.
Well, especially when you don't really have a relationship yet, Johnny, because what if you just are meeting them one day and the next day, and then it's just exploding on you quickly, the come-ons. And you know what? Then they say, oh, well, I didn't mean sex. When I said feel free to slip under the covers, it just meant, I'm the best cuddler in the world, but, I have the most self-control of anybody, and I will be such a gentleman and not even touch you. Yeah, but you're hoping, and you're just saying this after I literally met you and spent 4 hours at a lunch. That's it.
I understand.
He felt like I owed him something for
Right.
coming, which I did not even ask them to do. So please, specifically, tell me what you would do, Johnny, if you met a woman. Would you tell her that afternoon, and if you were visiting and you had a hotel room?
I would always make sure that everything was verbalized, even though that you can read something that's nonverbal, make sure it's verbalized. Because the thing is, I always believe that the first thing that you should do with a woman, even though I'm not an expert in women, is to eliminate any fear, zero fear. Make it so that she has no reason to be afraid of you. Now, this coming on too strong makes one, that means that she's afraid. You see what I'm saying? And you have to be able to say what you think without being scared. And it's and oftentimes it's hard, it's difficult, but boy, it needs to be done because, see, if you take away the fear, most people, and this isn't just women, this is men too, the more afraid you are, the harder time you're going to have being honest. Because you're going to want to protect people. You're going to want to protect your loved ones. You're going to want to protect people by not being honest. Or not being honest, but shielding the truth out of fear. And
that's
I
great.
think that...
But they don't think they're scaring you, maybe. Maybe they don't care, Johnny, but they're trying to, put their little feelers out there. And I get it, and that's fine. Maybe once, and maybe that was a mistake. Oh, my God. But no, they kept doing it over and over. And when they do it over and over, you are so right, though, about being scared. That is a scary thing. And I talked to Dale Shear about it, our psychic, and she said, what's next? She was feeling you could get raped because they just, they can't control it. You're a man. Is it that intense, a feeling that they have to have you?
Yeah.
Is it that intense?
And another aspect of this, this is, and I'm not trying to be sexist when I say this, but a lot of times, like, for example, the man can physically overpower a woman. So, you might feel yourself, oh my God, I'm in a position with this guy that can really, really hurt me, And guys need to make a woman feel safe, not scared. Because intimacy is a vulnerable thing, and you need to be able to verbalize it without being scared, without feeling like, oh my God, he's going to hurt me. Because the moment that happens, you can at least say how you feel. I don't believe that a woman should be made to feel like a fool by saying how she feels, whether she's into sex or not. You understand? Because if you do it that way, then at least the communication is good. That's the first thing with communication. You always eliminate the fear. Always eliminate it. There should be no fear.
Okay, Johnny, I get it. Are you going to give us some pointers on how you do that with a woman?
Well, I'm sorry if I sounded like a broken record. I guess I was
just because we have other parts of this to cover. So yeah,
so I know. I guess the reason is that I always try to listen. Make sure that I ask her a question and then listen for her answer. Let her know that her emotions. She can show her emotions. She can show her feelings. Now,
what about physically?
There's probably been. What?
Do you touch her? Do you hold her hand on the first date? Do you touch her? Do you touch her hand on the first date at all?
I might shake her hand.
Okay,
I don't know.
She would not be afraid then. She would not be afraid then because you're not holding her.
Yeah, if she doesn't act afraid, then I'll, shake her hand. It's sort of like, to me, I think talking to a woman is kind of like walking on the street and then seeing the deer that you want to take the picture of, then you don't want it to run away. You have to be able to...
That's a cute analogy.
What?
That's a cute analogy. I said that's a cute analogy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can you not hear me?
There are people... No, I heard what you said. There are people that can hurt that deer.
Well, I'm just wondering if
there are people. No, I heard you fine. Fine. But there are people that would hurt that deer. You see what I'm saying? But there's also people that finds the deer pretty, and they want to go take his picture. You see, and it has to do with when you have a woman that feels not scared, and you make her okay to say how she feels, and what she says matters, even if it means no.
Well, how about even you thinking of asking her and talking to her about it is very nice of you, Johnny, because why would they ask? They might get a no. They don't even want to ask because they don't want to risk getting a no. So they just, in their weird manipulative way, they get their little message to you loud and clear. But hello, you can't do that to a person who's a woman who has experience and traveled the world and has just has friends that are just like high class, wonderful people and reads books on etiquette. Okay, no, you cannot do that to a person who is a woman of substance. You're not going to last. You just are not. And you could apologize, but they're never going to want to spend one more minute with you. Another thing which is odd, I wanted to ask you why men would start talking about this. Ooh, I hate gold diggers. Oh my gosh, my friend, he has a gold digger, and we were talking about that to the psychologist, and he said, well, it's easy, just get rid of her. And I mean, I'm trying to have a glass of wine and enjoy the yachts and the scenery.
Right.
Well, why? And so I just started asking, well, what makes that? What is she taking that makes her that? Why doesn't he not get rid of her? Why doesn't he just take away the money? And still, if she doesn't like it, she would leave. It's so easy. So there's two to tango. They spoil a woman, one that they probably wouldn't even be able to get, and then they start complaining about her being a gold digger. And why do I even have to talk about this with this person when I have been completely taking care of and providing for my family, which is me, a single mom, and my daughter from the age of birth alone, because her father is deceased since 2. Okay, you don't need to talk to a person like that who has been taking care of herself, especially moving down here to Huntington Beach the last 6 years and enjoying and having my dream life. And is he insinuating that I would be that? Okay, so that was offensive too, I thought. I don't like that. I bring that up. Like, why do Johnny, like, why?
Well, the problem with the gold digger is that it leads into past relationships, and the thing is that it could be, you could just as easily, it'd be like if you said, well, you know what, I dated men who have smelled, They don't.
Well, I would laugh, but I didn't even hear you. What? You would date with what?
Smell. Say
right.
that you told him that you dated morticians you didn't date or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he might start to think, wait a minute, you think I smell? I mean, money is something to have a conversation about, but probably not on a date because of the fact that you're there to relax, and
Exactly.
And it is, and first of all, as far as the gold digger thing, I mean, you haven't even done enough to be considered that. Like, for example,
I couldn't believe. Yeah, was he insinuating that I was one, or maybe one, or what?
Well, no, I
just
think
because I'm a model.
He was bad communication either way. I mean, it was just sort of like, I mean, whether or not he was insinuating, it has to do with the fact that it's just a bad communication. Because, I mean, I think that the truth is that I will tell you this, though. Gold diggers, women who are gold diggers, okay, what I've seen, they would not be able to function on their own. They're the ones that sort of like, for instance, it would be like if you said, if the only reason if the only reason that you were able to pay for your rent and your car payment and your all this other stuff would be for another guy, to me that would be gold diggerish. It would be somebody that says that, but I'm not going to go into your private life, but I think you've always handled that fine,
Well, I have, and I just don't want that. And for people who set me up with people, they know that, and they are telling that to the person. They are saying, this is a good woman who is a good mother, who is nurturing and loving and caring and giving and generous and smart. Okay? They're not saying that. So there were other things too, very kind of odd remarks, just maybe a weirdo. And I'm actually feeling I'm lucky to be alive. Really. I am very lucky to be alive because anything could have happened.
That's another reason why we're talking about coming on too strong, because being in danger should not be what you're thinking about on a date. Now, it's possible to have a bad date, a date that doesn't go well, and then have you not be in danger. Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing that's really interesting. I mean, he didn't have to do something to make you feel like you're in danger. He could have, done something to where that you would be, okay, well, we didn't click. You understand? But
after a few days, and if we did, Johnny, let me just interject that. You're right. If we did click after a few days, he probably would have gotten some nice attention. I probably would not have done that, but that's just not me. I'm not saying, ooh, I'm prudish, but I'm not easy. And you know what? What's wrong with building up something? What's wrong with building the passion? So it's just amazing. And that's how I think it should be. Not meeting somebody and hoping you're going to gel and let's just see if it works. Let's see how it goes. Let's do a test drive. Let's do a perfume test. You don't get to test it like I'm a perfume bottle before you buy, and which is a weird analogy. But look, I'm not a tester. I don't do that. Okay, so Johnny, go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, you always have to make the woman feel safe. I mean, and I think the way to do it is to listen, because
true.
If she says no, it means no. And I guess the thing is that you have to talk about yes before it becomes yes. Because obviously there's a way to make a mistake. And misinterpret. And those things have to be verbalized more before. I think they seem to be verbalized before they become actions. I think you have to sort of say, otherwise it's just like, I think that obviously you can't just be that close to someone that soon. There's too many things that can happen, and I think that also you're a person who has too many people in your life that you care about, and so because they care about you, you're protecting yourself, which is good. Does that make sense?
Yes, but
yeah.
I think that I should have, the first remark that was really over the top early, I should have just said, have fun. You can take an Uber wherever. I don't know, but anyway, I then had lunch the next day, and I personally did what you said. I sat down across from him at a table, and I asked him, I said, well, so you go to church every Sunday, and that is a big part of your life, but yet you just, meet somebody and you just want to jump in the sack with them right away. And he was saying things I'm not going to fall for, like maybe a younger, naive, vulnerable girl would have, which I think that this person has done this a lot of times, because they'll say, oh, I have never been there. Can you show me around? Oh, then forgetting about, not even ever heard of the place, but saying, "Oh, it was always my dream to live there. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house near you." And they would think, "Ooh, oh my God, he's talking about that. I better set up some real estate agents." And I am not falling for it. I just want to have a nice, lighthearted, then move into a deep conversation about life and the universe and all, just more love, just a love conversation. Not, I hate gold diggers and I can't stand this and, why I have health issues and just, okay. Anyway, it's not that it didn't work out. The person ruined it. So who knows? But probably it would never work because that is a person who would do that. So no, it never would have worked out. But I don't like it when they say, "Well, oh, I'm sorry, it just didn't work out." No, that wasn't it. You were a sexual predator on me for 2 days. Okay? And I put a lot of effort trying to teach you where to go and showing you the ropes of this town, and you were a predator on me, and I didn't even get to see the 4th of July parade because of it, because I could never be around you again when you didn't even cup up to it. So
wow.
Saw fireworks from my backyard. And so, hello, dude, I might not be paying for my meals, but I am old-fashioned. And I must admit, I was going to go offer Dutch, but you know what? I didn't do it because it would not have made sense. It would not have made sense to somebody who was not even invited, who said they are going to come and they would like to meet you, and then you offer a lunch time to them, and then they go to their hotel and then offer you a key and start with slip under the sheets. Why don't you? 7 times. 6 throughout the evening and then early in the morning. Okay, so 7 times they alluded to that. Well, they said that, and I went and asked them, "Okay, so you would have sexual relations before marriage?" Well, yeah. And I said, "Well, really? But you go to church all the time, and do you just follow some of it?" Well, we live in different days now. I said, "Well, my stepdad, my mom met him, and she was in her mid-40s, and he would not do that until after marriage. So, no, people do take their religion very seriously and do follow it to a T." So, I opened it like that and did it very clinically. Actually, I didn't even open it. He had to ask me if I ever had heard of Quest, the lab, and he had a clean bill of health. And so that's when I went into that. I'm like, okay, we're really going to discuss this straightforward. Wow, this is so romantic, right? On the second day you've ever known somebody.
Okay,
I just thought that
back up.
I am not going to spend a day with this person, one more minute with this person after that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He was talking to you about getting STD tested?
Well, maybe he was hinting, but it wasn't about me, because there was no time for that, of course. That doesn't matter. He was trying to tell me, well, he did tell me that he had a clean bill of health. And have I ever heard of Quest? The reason I know about that is because I just had, I had to get surgery from my accident a year ago, and you have to get all your blood tests. And as a matter of fact, yeah, I have heard of that. It's a laboratory? Yes. Oh, and he went into all of that, how he's been fixed and how he got a clean bill of health. And this is what he said. This is the clincher. So how about trying it tonight with like the elbow and the fist going, how about it? Like, okie dokie. Like, that was weird. And I said, I've got to go. I actually left before they were done eating.
Did he ask you this at dinner?
No. Okay, Johnny. I met him across from his hotel for the lunch. I went. I walked over to the hotel. Here's your hotel, okay? He was at the front desk. He comes over and did that with the key. Here's the key. You don't need an invitation. I'm like, okay, see you tomorrow. Anyway, I then left, and then the text started coming in. Then the next day, I went to, it's HB. It's like downtown. It's like a little city. I went there. I said, let's go eat lunch. And we did. That's when that happened. And then before he was done even eating, I said, I have to go. I have an appointment and I've got to run. And I did. I left and I never did go back. And, I told him why, but I couldn't do it anymore. This is my time, Johnny. This is my time.
Right.
This is valuable. I don't want to, I do not like to say I'm too old for this, but really I'm too old for this, to sit around all day hearing yapping in my ear that is nonsense and trying to be sweet in the tour guide when I know that person is not for me. So I now I scram, okay? And then, oh, so shocked, and then, oh, so sorry, and then, oh, wrong choice of words, and then, oh, can't we be friends? And, oh, well, we could just be friends and tour. Oh, no. And then I have to even say I don't have time for texting anymore after, I've communicated this enough. So that is what happened. Of course, you're always hoping for the best, but I also was having a balance. I had a balance in my mind of no, because they also could be a complete, who knows, maybe a total dork. The person, there was nothing wrong with the way they looked or what they did, in life, and their health, a little bit bad with their health, but they looked healthy. So there was really nothing wrong with that. So they're really just ruining it with their approach. Their approach to, they did not come to impress. They came to get laid. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And that was really like, oh, really? Oh, I was like, oh, that's too bad. It just took all the fun out of it right there. So if any guys are listening, what it really does, it's not just because, oh, she doesn't want you. You're taking the fun out of it. Have you ever heard about how men actually are supposed to like the chase? It's not that we do it on purpose. It's just our nature. So, but he's chasing too aggressively, where it's not fun anymore. It's not play anymore. You're pushing them away. And that starts immediately. So they need to learn. I hope that person learns, but maybe people who are listening right now are learning.
Right. That's true. And there are good men out there, but I do think that there needs to be some concept about, going slow and listening rather than just assuming that everybody, because you can't just, a reckless lifestyle is not a good idea these days, or actually, period,
Maybe I am a little bit expecting the best. When he wanted to share, he even wanted to share a cocktail. A fancy cocktail. You're at a Hawaiian-type themed restaurant. No, I want my own. Geez. And then,
do you realize
only two meals that wanted to split
like
things. What?
Yeah, I don't think, no. Because, you're I'm sure if you told your father about that, he wouldn't like that at all. And I'm sure my father would tell all three of my sisters and me the same thing. Too many date rape stories. That's exactly how that would happen,
Oh, are you talking about maybe he wouldn't slip anything in it if we were sharing it. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but he could slip it in it after he gives it to you.
Well, yeah, but I said no, I would like my own, thank you. And I mean, you're on a date, and people are taking pictures these days. Hello, it's normal that you want to take a picture of your 2 fancy cocktails for 2 people giving a cheer, not 2 people who just met with one lonely cocktail right in the middle of the table. You can't even toast. So, dork. Hello, you're a dork.
This is the image that comes to mind. I guess what it has to do with Barbie is that you keep getting, when you start telling people about what happened with somebody like this, there's images that get in your head. You see what I'm saying? It's like images of big rape. It doesn't mean that. I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened, but it's sort of like. It's like, for example, like there have been times in where you've interacted with men. I won't say when this happened, but where I was worried for your safety, and then it turned out to be nothing. But the images in my mind were there because I cared about you. You understand? I think there was one instance. Do you want me to tell you what the other instance was?
Where was I? I don't remember you being thinking I was in danger with a man.
You were in Germany, and there was a particular person that was bothering you.
Oh yes, but no, we shouldn't talk about Germany. I don't want to talk about Germany right now.
Okay, I won't. I'm sorry. I guess, but the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not there, so I see things in my mind. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. So, even though it may be off what I'm seeing, it's done out loud. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, thank you very much, Johnny. But I do believe we've covered everything, and I'm proud of myself for just seeing what is happening and then having boundaries. And that comes from, I think, a lot of my life experience and just loving myself. And you need to love yourself, because then if you do, you're going to be so much better for the other person. You're going to be so happy you're going to not be with that person complaining all the time. And I know that I will be happy whether I am alone or with somebody, because I'm not going to choose the wrong person. And also, loneliness is different than aloneness. And I actually enjoy it. And it kind of gives me a little anxiety thinking about a relationship, because how am I going to ever get my alone time? It actually does cross my mind a lot.
Okay.
Worrying about that, because it seems like when they do get me, they want to be around me every second. And it's nothing against anybody, but I really just need space. I need to just think. I turn off the TV. The only thing you hear is the birds chirping. And then I regenerate, my batteries charge. And so I hope that whoever it is will understand that, because I need it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? Do you need a lot of alone time, Johnny?
Oh, well, it depends. I mean, a lot of my interactions with people is on the internet, and it does help me network. Like, for example, I was thinking about this yesterday. You told me one time that you're not bothered by when we talk on the phone because I'm really quick and I'm to the point and I get off the phone.
Yes.
But the thing is, I finally found out why. I make probably about 30 phone calls a day. Okay?
Oh, yeah. You are experienced with the phone. Aren't you tired of being on the phone?
So, see, if I were to call somebody and stay on the phone, then I wouldn't be able to make other phone calls. And it is because in a lot of the stuff I do is my job, networking, you know, talking to people about the show and setting up guests, talking to people. So it's like the conversations are like, okay, I mean, before I call you, I think, what am I going to say to Barbara? I'm going to, you know, and then a lot of times it's funny because, you know, I don't think you and I have had a long conversation on the phone. It's very rare that it'll be something like an hour. It's always been like 5 minutes because it's always, I'm thinking, the truth is, you probably have, I make like 30 phone calls a day. You probably have 30 things you need to do throughout the day.
Yeah,
so
things.
What?
Things. You said things to do.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
That's the things to do, yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's sort of like when it's like, so I'll get you on the phone and I'll be like, well, what are you doing today? Well, I have to go to the store. I have to go business stuff. I have to go to the drums, you know, it's like there. So, you know, but you know, for me, then it's like, okay, Barbara, here's what it is. Blah, 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 blah. Talk to you soon, you know. And
I never knew it seemed like that to you, that I was doing a lot of stuff.
No, that's fine. It's actually fine. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal, Barbara. What I'm saying is that yeah, it isn't. It isn't a big deal. You know.
I know. I don't think you think it is a big deal. I'm just saying. Oh, I wasn't really thinking. I guess I do a lot of things while you are doing.
But that's fine.
Your computer.
I mean, you got a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot of responsibilities, and your job is very always looking to do something. You know, your job is always looking for you know, for places to work and everything. So sometimes it's a very constant thing. It's a constant look, and you know, so our conversations that we have are very short and to the point. You know, and that's why. But you know, alone time, I think it's not so much that. I mean, I like talking to people in person, and I haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to do that. It's rare. But it's like my friends are all over the place. So, you know, and that's why. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's all fine. Well, I'm glad that you, as a man, are a gentleman and know about how to treat a lady, you know, when you first meet her and a few days after as well, I'm sure. And it's not even just because people are raised right. Well, it's the way my mother taught me. Well, the mother could be the sweetest thing in the world and has done her best and did her best with her boys. No, it's not her fault, okay? It's that man's fault.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that? You're going to love this. Comment on this. It's going to fall in line with this. I read this in a book somewhere, and when I tell you this, it's very, very deep. There was this man that was a murderer. He was in jail, and he robbed banks, and he did all this other stuff. And he had 2 sons, okay? And one son followed in his father's footsteps. He robbed banks. He you know, took on life of crime, you know? And then the other son became a church-going father and a law-abiding citizen and very, very straight in the straight lifestyle. Well, they asked both sons, why did you turn out like you did? And they both gave the exact same answer. How else would I have turned out without having a father like that?
Oh, well, so one did the opposite and one did the same?
Yeah, but the point is they both gave the same explanation for why they lived the lives that they did. They both said, how else would I have turned out with having a father like that?
Right, so good. That is to my point. It's not their fault. It's you. You got to, in general, take it upon yourself to check yourself. Are you acting like a predator? Maybe you don't even realize it, and you just think, oh, this is just normal. I'm just going to show her how much I like her, and I'm just going to then say, but it's okay. You don't have to if you don't want to. No, it's very annoying, and you think that that's all that is on their mind from that point on, and you feel like whatever you're sharing together in conversation or sightseeing means less than that because they put that on top. That's at the forefront, and that is their goal. And that is not how I want to walk around my town. Not going to. All right. Well, I think we've covered all of our bases, Johnny, and thank you so much for all of your advice. Yeah, I'll do the shout out. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm glad you're getting your alerts. I know that people are when you follow Life, Laughter, Happiness on Blog Talk Radio. You will hear all of our alerts. But we will see you on Friday with Psychic Dale Shear. Right, Johnny? Is everything set for Friday? Okay, good.
It is.
And
all right.
Yes, because people miss Dale when she's not around, and we didn't do it on 4th of July. So people line up and make sure you call in at 5 Pacific Standard Time, p.m. And it's 8 p.m. for Johnny in Florida, but make sure that you call in. Oh, it's 7 p.m.? Oh.
Yeah, I'm on
You're a few hours later.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we want to hear from you. We take callers. We should have had some callers tonight, but we didn't, did we, Johnny?
Yeah.
We didn't have any. And you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We will post this show there for your convenience. All right. Good night, everybody. And thank you, Johnny.
Good night, everyone. Good night.